What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of Road to Glory. The first minute or so of this video is just me doing a little bit of club maintenance. I read a few comments over the last few videos where people are like, I cut out so much stuff that you don't get to see. And a lot of it is just stuff like this, stuff that's just not really relevant, you know, when I change teams or when I move players around, when I add contracts, like, I don't really show that because it's quite boring. I don't know why people would be interested in seeing this, but in the essence of showing you everything and how it all works, here you go. This is me adding some contracts to my players, ranging maybe the bench a little bit, sorting out my team here or there, and just generally doing a little bit of club maintenance. Now today's video is called the best attack in FIFA, question mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, something like that anyway. And that is simply because Arjen Robben has complemented this attack just brilliantly. Him, Royce and Aubameyang have left me with so many questions about what to do with a future squad that I was actually sat here before editing this video for about an hour on Footbin and Foothead looking at how many coins I'd have if I sold everything and what kind of team I could actually build. And I could build like quite a few really decent teams. One of the most interesting teams that I kind of looked at was having so 4-3-2-1, Footy's Aubameyang striker, Footy's Royce left wing, Ronaldo right wing. Then having Footy's Kroos, the 91 version, as a centre mid, having Luka Modric as that right centre mid, and Footy's Ben Arfa as a left centre mid. So we'd have 10 chem, 10 chem, 7 chem, 10 chem, 10 chem, 10 chem. So it would only be Ronaldo that would be off chem. And then having Ben Arfa there, we could then go for like team of the season Maxwell at left back, Thiago Silva at centre back, team of the season Keylor Navas in goal, Sergio Ramos at centre back, and Diekmeyer at right back, and I can afford that whole team. And I was looking at it and I was like, okay, this team looks sick, right? But then I looked at Conor Plianka, right, and thought maybe I can put Conor Plianka in at centre midfield on 7 chem and it would work and he would fit. And then I thought, let me compare Conor Plianka to Ronaldo, and although Ronaldo has the 5-star skill moves, Conor Plianka is actually probably the better card. He has way less shooting, but because of how the broken shooting mechanics are in this game, he would actually work like just as good, if not better than Ronaldo, you know, as good as Ronaldo basically. He's got more pace, he's got, I think, better dribbling by 1, he's got much better physical and defending, his passing is like head and shoulders better. The only detriment to Conor over Ronaldo is less shooting, 1-star skill move less, and potentially work rates. He's got medium, which isn't always ideal. And when I was looking at playing him in centre midfield, I was like, actually, he's probably a bit short for that centre midfield role. So I started looking at some other things, and then I compared Di Maria to Ronaldo. And the team of the season Di Maria that we have is just so much better than Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, without the skill moves again, but almost everything everywhere is just better than the 93 Ronaldo, and he's cheaper than him. So I thought, okay, now we're back to square one because this is the player we've already got. However, when I look at Di Maria's stats and when I look at the stats of Arjen Robben, by the end of today's games, has 9 goals and I believe 2 assists in 9 games. Whereas Di Maria has 13 goals and I believe 7 assists in 22 games. So over the 9 games that Robben played, he got 11 goal contributions, and over the 22 games that Di Maria's done, he's only got 20 goal contributions. So there's an argument to be made that potentially, even though Robben has less stats and isn't quite as good, he fits my playstyle better for some reason, somehow, somewhere. And I don't know the reason and I don't know why, and it kind of just sparks me into wanting to build like one overall super team, but also not, because I'm very happy with what I've got. So I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. I genuinely don't know what to do with this team. What I want to do first and foremost probably is win Division 1. And speaking of Division 1, we actually went into a Division 1 game with our second team. And what I forgot to do in the first game in the Cup was put the other set of subs on the bench. So half of my team here, and I didn't realise until I got into the game, half of my team were on like 88 to 90 fitness at the start, which was problematic. We come up against an absolutely fantastic team. It was a really good, really close game up until the first goal was scored in the second half, and all it was basically a lapse in defensive concentration from me. I got a bit carried away attacking, and he gets through there with Frank Ribery. I cut on the inside, he goes near post, fantastic goal, can't take anything away from it, you know, it's just a great goal. And that was scored in the 61st minute, and then almost instantly from from my kickoff. He gets the ball in with Ibra, hits me with the no-touch dribble, which was it was just really nice, and the finish from Ben Arfa as well was just really nice. Can't take anything away from his goals. He played a really good game. It was such an even game. I was frustrated that it was my lack of concentration defensively that kind of cost me this game and allowed him in. Not to say that he didn't deserve to score, because he most definitely did deserve to score the goals. You know, he played a good game, I played a good game. I think he had a bit more possession, but I think chances were really even. And the fitness may have had a problem with that defensively, may not have done. But also, it kind of made me think maybe the team that I've got here isn't good enough to win Division 1. I think it is good enough to win Division 1. But I just know for a fact that having that Royce, that Aubameyang, and that Di Maria up front would have given me more opportunity to score goals than having Konoplyanka, Castro, and Carlos Vela. And it's just because that's nothing away from Castro because he's great. It's nothing away from Konoplyanka because he is great. What that is just to say how damn good Royce and Aubameyang footies cards are, because they are genuinely the best cards I've used this year in FIFA. I do believe that Aubameyang is the best striker I've used this year. I do believe that Royce is head and shoulders better than any version of Ronaldo I've used. They're just utterly outrageous, and they create so much aids in the game. And you saw the first goal I scored there was just absolute nonsense, and this goal here was absolute nonsense. You know, he tackled me like 2 times, I got the ball back, hit the bar with a shot, hits the keeper, hits the bar again, pops out to my player perfectly, and I make it 2-0. And it was one of those games, I talked about this yesterday's video a little bit, and I'll talk about it briefly again today. It was one of those things where, like, I know when bullshit happens in the game, whether it's for me or against me. In that game that I lost in Division 1, there was no bullshit there. My opponent played a really good game. My lack of concentration, my inability to be able to play the game is what cost me the goals. In this game here, all 3 of my goals so far at 3-1 have been utter nonsense. And it's so frustrating, but I sit there and I think, are they nonsense because of what we expect out of what we get in real life football? Or is this actually just how the game is? Is that actually just a good goal? Like, you know, is abusing the game mechanics to favour you the best way? And we score a 4th goal, and again, what a crappy goal. He tackled me like 2 times. I stretched and got the ball back. It fell to Robben. Robben took a shot. It took a deflection. It went in. And that guy, even though like I dominated the game and arguably I should have won the game regardless of the way the goals went in, all 4 of my goals were just aids. They were just aids, and it's quite frustrating, but hey, that's how FIFA is from time to time. So we won into the semi-final, and into the semi-final come up against this team. I do look at this team and think, interesting, like, why have Lewandowski up front when you can have Aubameyang? Just why? Why have Draxler there at left wing when you can have Schürrle? You know, like I understand that people want to use different teams and they want to, you know, play with favourite players and stuff, but ultimately, especially when you're in tournaments and when you're in Division 1, you got to be playing to win. You know, you got to be playing to win. And why would you purposely detriment your own chances by playing with someone that you think is good rather than someone that is like proven to be good? Like, Schürrle would just be so much better than Draxler, and they're pretty much identical prices. Schürrle is so cheap. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is way cheaper than Lewandowski. Now, yeah, okay, maybe Lewandowski was an untradeable player. Maybe Lewandowski is his favourite player. Maybe he's actually really good with Lewandowski. But I know for a fact through playing this game here that he would have caused me far more problems if he had Schürrle and Aubameyang, because there was one occasion, I didn't put it in the video, where he actually got broken down the wing with Draxler in acres of space, and Diekmeyer just caught up with him, no problem at all, and took it off him, and I went down the other end. Now, if he had Schürrle there, there's no way Diekmeyer would have ended up catching up with him, and he would have created a really good goal-scoring opportunity. Eventually, the guy broke, and, you know, we end up scoring goal after goal after goal. He started getting frustrated. He got a red card. He was sliding in, just generally playing pretty poorly. But for those of you that, like, play games with teams that aren't necessarily the best and there are better, cheap alternatives, do you guys do it because you like the player? Do you like the challenge? Or do you just not know or understand that what works in FIFA works, and you should stick with what works? And that's why players like Aubameyang will be great year on year. It doesn't matter if it's a pace game or not. If EA made a game where pace was absolutely perfectly exceptionally balanced, having someone that still has 96 pace is going to counter that balance, because it has to, because 96 pace is 96 pace. It's there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? It has to be there. We end up taking another game just before the final to give fitness back to my main team. This time, I didn't go into Division 1 because now that I lost that first game in Division 1, we got 2 wins and a loss in D1, so we got 6 points out of 9. We can only afford 1 more loss in the division, otherwise we're likely going to just hold again. I thought to myself, don't risk it with that team. Let's wait until I've either won or not won this cup and go in it with my main team or potentially a different, better team. And that's where I came back to again. And that's where I started looking at why I was going to be potentially changing team. And I just don't know what to do. I'm at a point where I can afford 1 or 2 really big players. Like if I sold Di Maria, if I sold Matuidi, I've got some good players already in the team. You know, the team of the season Gonalons, the Footies Ben Arthur, the Footies Kono, all the team of the season unlocks, the Footies Oba, the Footies Royce. Like I've got so many sick players. I don't want to break formation. I could easily change to a 4-1-2-1-2 or a 4-4-2 and easily fit these players in. But the 4-3-2-1 for me is such a strong formation that I don't want to break formation just to fit in extra players and then end up losing games because I'm not used to the formation, I'm not used to the playstyle, or I'm just bad with that formation, you know? So I really don't know what I'm going to do. What would you do if you're in my position? If you're in a position where you've got, you know, this Footies Ben Arthur, this Footies Royce, this Footies Kono, this Footies Aubameyang, and then players worth about 600,000 coins, what would you do? I'd be interested to know. I might look at getting a few legends in there actually, and just filling out. But what I don't like about the legends at this rate, and this is what I explained to someone on Twitter the other day, is that a legend that you can afford for 150, 200, 250,000 coins, there is a better alternative team of the season player for cheaper that will do a better job for you. Like you could go and get Lundberg, no problem, but there are just so many better wingers for as cheap, if not cheaper, like Robben. Who would you really rather have, Lundberg or Robben? You would rather have Robben, and he's cheaper. It's the elite legends that are ones that you want to get. Lothar Matthäus, Desai, Patrick Vieira, Ruud Gullit, you know, the real high-rated legends are the ones that you really, really want. Into the final we go of the cup, guys, and we came up against a guy who had a really nice team. He has the Footies Aubameyang, the Footies Royce, and instantly I was like, oh my god, it's going to be another stressful final. I got quite lucky to go 1-0 up in the start. I didn't aim that pass to Muller. I aimed it to cut it back to Aubameyang, I believe. And then I got a really, really aidsy goal to make it 2-0. And you can see here the game's quite laggy. It was 3-bar connection at the start, and it started off alright. And much like a game in yesterday's video, I believe, it just deteriorated throughout up till half time. And at one point, I actually thought the game was going to lag out. Like the spinning circle of death came up for a good like 10 or 15 seconds. And then click back in. We end up scoring an absolute super goal with Marco Reus. And that's where I'm like, why even bother putting Ronaldo into this team when Reus just does stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just no point. Like, I'm not going to get much more out of it when Reus does that. We end up taking a 4-0 lead. And, of course, that was good enough to win us the title. My opponent messaged me afterwards saying, good game. He didn't think I was that good. He knew who I was. And to keep up the good work. So GG to you, bro. Thank you for the game, and I'm happy that I got the win, not gonna lie. Now with the Bundesliga pack, I'm not gonna open it until Wednesday when the new team of the week comes out. I have a feeling we're gonna see a Lewandowski and potentially an Aubameyang in team of the week. Aubameyang scored 2 goals and ended up winning Dortmund the game. Lewandowski, I believe, got a hat-trick. So if they do get special cards, I think that they'll actually get really, really good cards. Let me go on to Foothead real quick. So I think Lewandowski's card will be really high rated because it won't be his team of the season. So if Lewandowski does get an inform, it will be a 94 rated inform, which would be sick to have up there. And his 93 card currently has 85 pace and 96 shooting. So we'd be able to get something there with like 86, 87 pace, 96, 97, 98 shooting. Obviously, if we get lucky and pack it, and so that would be pretty sweet. And then for Aubameyang, I know we already have his Footies card, and I don't anticipate giving that up. But there's 2 options here for Aubameyang's card. He's currently got an 85, an 86, and an 87, and then an 89. So he might get an 88 in form, in which case if we pack him, we can't sell him, it'd be untradeable. So if we packed him, it'd be useless to us because we'd have the 89. But if he gets a 90 rated card instead of an 88 rated card, we would then potentially use that instead of the Footies version. So if we packed it, of course, you know, but there's no point me wasting... There's no point me wasting this pack right now because there's the best Bundesliga player that we can get right now is Robben. He's the highest rated gold Bundesliga player, and he goes for 65,000 coins, and we already have him. So it would just be a waste. The next best player that we can get is the 88 Lewandowski. The next best player that we can get is Philipp Lahm, Frank Ribery, Jerome Boateng. Like, these are all players that are just so goddamn cheap. There's no point wasting our time opening that pack hoping for those sort of players. We might as well wait until there is going to be a Bundesliga player or two, maybe three, in the team of the week, so that we can try and get lucky and see what happens. So for the rest of this video, guys, I just kind of like showed you again a load of the stuff that I was doing. I was looking at different variations of players. I was adding a whole bunch more contracts, and I'm going to cut it here midway through adding contracts and stuff. I listed up Thomas Muller, I listed up that bronze guy. I've actually kept Robben for now because he was so good. Like, I don't know if I, like, this is what I'm saying, like, before in the video, I don't know if I want to keep Robben in the team and maybe go for a better Bundesliga squad, because we can get players like the special version of Vidal, a better version of Muller. Like, we can go for like a really, really good team. And in fact, I think, doesn't Robben have a special card as well? I think Robben's card might actually be a striker. It is. It's a striker, which is unfortunate. We could afford him at 315,000 coins, but there's no point getting a striker Robben because we already have that Aubameyang. But there are so, like, we could build like the sickest Bundesliga team, and then just build a untradables team to play in the cup. But then I thought to myself, in the meantime, I know the team that I've got is sick, so maybe I should try and win Division 1 with this team before thinking about changing teams. So you guys need to let me know what you want me to do, because I have absolutely no idea. But this is going to be the end of the video, guys. So if you have enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out.